Hi, everyone. Nice to see you guys again. Let's see what we have here today. We have a new topic on robotic process automation, but today we're going to look at order to cash. The order to cash function in the finance department embedded with robotic process automation. Okay. The previous video, we looked at the purchase to pay. So now we are going to look at order to cash. So let's see what is order to cash. So order to cash, let's start from here. Order to cash is the end-to-end business process, which starts when a customer places an order and ends when payment is received and recorded in the general ledger. It spans multiple departments, task unit, which comprises of sales, customer service, credit billing, collections, and finance, and includes activities such as order entry, invoicing, payment collection, and cash application. So this is similar to the accounts receivable team or the accounts receivable department. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, now we know what is order to cash. Okay, we will start with sales order processing. Okay, this is the full cycle of order to cash. Well, it starts from sales order processing. Then you got to move on to credit approval. Next is product or service delivery. Next is billing or invoicing, payment collection, cash application, and finally custom account reconciliation. Okay. So actually, for small companies, you can perform the order to cash functions manually. But with the latest situation, you've got to actually uh, perform using ERP. Okay, so we have here the ERP. Let's see. Okay, ERP. ERP. I know you guys have seen ERP before because we talked about ERP with purchase to pay. So ERP is nothing new to you. And with large organizations such as those multinational companies, they would need to use ERP. And so I would say that ERP is important in order to run the order to cash function or process. Okay, so what does ERP do? Let's have a recap. Okay, ERP connects various departments, sales, finance, accounts receivable, logistics, and customer service into a single integrated platform. This enables a seamless end-to-end workflow from order placement to cash receipt. So as I told you before, ERP is great. Okay, it's fantastic. It's awesome. Okay, it's efficient. But the thing is, like, you need to have RPA embedded onto the ERP. Okay, which will make it much more efficient because ERP do not have bots or robots. Okay, but the RPA would have bots. Okay, so what's happening nowadays is that RPA is being embedded into the OTC function. Okay, and as usual, what the bots would do, the bots would automate repetitive, high volume tasks such as entering orders into ERP, sending invoices, updating payment records, and generating reports, which greatly improves speeds, accuracy, and compliance. Okay, let's have a look at the function of ERP in each O2C. Okay, I know some books or some literature would use OTC, but we would try to use O2C because OTC would sound like over the counter. I think that's a bit confusing, misleading, I would say. So we would use O2 with the number two, O2-Cash, order to cash, okay, O2C task. So we have here, let's have a look at the first one. So the order entry, the first operational step after receiving a customer order, it involves capturing and validating the customer's orders details into the company system. So the ERP would, okay, create the sales order, okay, in SAP, from online portals, email, and so forth. Okay. Then we have credit management. is a critical control step that determines whether a customer's order can proceed based on their creditworthiness. So if you were to do it manually, you have to check whether the customer does not have defaults in other payments, other customers, and so forth. So with the ERP automatically checks customer credit limit. Okay. And next one will be inventory check and fulfillment. This step ensures that products are available and delivered to the customer as promised. So ERP verifies the stock, reserve goods, triggers warehouse, okay, packing, shipment, and all that. Okay. Next is shipping confirmation, the formal process of recording and communicating that goods have been dispatched from the warehouse and are en route to the customer, and which ERP will record all the shipping details. Okay, next we look at the invoice generation, compiling all relevant order, shipping and pricing data to create a bill. Okay, a bill is the invoice that the customer must pay. So what happens is that the ERP will auto-generate invoice based on the sales order and delivery. Okay. Next, we would have payment processing and cash application. The customer remits payment for the invoice and the company records and applies that payment to the correct account and invoice. Okay, and for the ERP would actually enter the payment information. Okay, and the ERP would also match other payments to open invoices. Okay, I'm sorry about this last information here, talking about general ledger posting and reporting. So the ERP posts the revenue, taxes, and account receivable balances to the general ledger. Okay, so don't worry about the last part there. Okay, examples of ERP systems used in the O2C tasks. You would see a lot of SAP. Okay, but I wouldn't be biased though, because some companies are still using Oracle. So we would have SAP, or the latest one would be SAP S/4HANA. Okay, and the modules involved will be the sales and distribution, accounts receivable, and credit. Okay, and for Oracle, order management, receivables, collections, revenue management, and so forth. Okay, and we also get the occasional Microsoft Dynamics 365, NetSuite, and InfoCloud Suite. Okay, so don't worry so much on that. These are just the ERP softwares. Okay. What's so good about the ERP? Benefits of ERP in O2C. Okay, we have here the centralized data, number one, in which all order, billing, and payment data will be live in one system. Process standardization reduces errors and ensures consistent billing and accounting. Real-time visibility, track orders, delivery, and payments in real time. Compliance and auditability, built-in workflows, logs, and controls for financial audits. And finally, automation ready, easily enhanced with RPA for repetitive tasks. So I would say, like, in a large company, the people working in O2C will be different from the people working in P2P. P2P, in my previous video, we talked about purchase or procure to pay, purchase to pay, or procure to pay. So those are the people working in the payables team, I would say. They're going to be different people, in O2C and P2P. Okay, we cannot have the same people, and usually it's like a huge team of people in O2C and a huge team of people in P2P. I would say huge would be, I would say in a team of maybe 12 members, depending on the organization. Okay, now let's move on to the challenges. Okay, we have a complex configuration. I would say that ERP is a complex software. It's not easy to set up. Okay, it's not easy to use as well. People need to go for training if you need to actually use this ERP software. Okay, integration needs. You need seamless connection to the bank's shipping CRM. know that. So you need the SAP consultant or Oracle consultant to actually work together with the organization to ensure these seamless integration. Next is limited flexibility. You need customization. Okay, it's not really flexible. Once you set up this one ERP software, that's it. You have to use that forever. Okay, you cannot like today you're gonna this 1 month you're gonna use Oracle, and then maybe next month you're gonna use SAP. It's like carved in stone actually. Whatever you set up for your organization, that's going to be the ERP system they're going to use for quite some time, few years down the road. Okay, and training is a must because it's really complicated. It needs time, okay, and understanding to be able to use the system, okay, in a proper way. Now let's have a look at this. Three columns here. As you can see, we have on the left O2C task. In the middle is the manual processing. Okay, I would want to start with manual processing so you can see like what is being automated, what needs to be automated, and I see like there's some arguments on the need of automation, saying that jobs will be lost and all that. Yes, we do understand that the data entry jobs will be taken away, well, in a good way. And I would say that for those people who are working in data entry, I'm sure that you do not want to work in data entry for the rest of your life. I'm sure that you want to be promoted and do some more um, upscale, valuable things, and which will, be in line with your qualifications and experience. And with these robots coming in, that's the purpose. We want to upgrade or upscale our staff so they will move on to do more, I would say, valuable. I wouldn't say like data entry is not valuable. Data entry is like a core knowledge, the core knowledge and skill that you need to have, but you cannot do that forever. I would say that why not let robots do it? Okay, so let's look at this first O2C task, order capture. So usually the orders will be received via email and portal. I mean, if you're working in the the O2C department and you're doing it manually, you'll get the email requesting to um, requesting from your customers, email request from your customers, order request from your customers via email, okay, or the portal on your website. But the thing is that the RPA, the bots, will now read the order emails. They can do that, right? Remember, I told you in our previous videos, they don't have eyes, but they have the OCR. So this OCR will actually read the emails and translates the data and enters the data into the ERP straight away. Okay. But those people working in O2C, right, it's not like you do not need to have accounting knowledge. You need to know the debits and credits, just in case if the robots will do something wrong, okay, based on probably wrong configuration or just some error in the system, okay, glitches and so forth, virus and so forth, okay. So you need to know, you need to have the accounting knowledge. Next is credit check. So the staff checks credit manually. Okay, you would not have to do this if you set up the robots or the bots to check on the credibility of the customers. Next, order entry. Staff creates sales orders in the ERP. So now bots will actually log into the ERP and enter the orders. Okay. Next, order fulfillment. Manual processing is looking at shipping or logistics. Shipping and logistics will be done by the human. Okay. Now we'll ask the robot to update the shipment status from logistics systems to the ERP. Next is invoicing, manual invoice creation and mailing. Okay, this is not necessary when you have the robots, and they will generate the emails and invoice automatically. Awesome. Okay, next will be payment receipt. Okay, just imagine like you used to say you're a senior. Okay, you probably want to recruit juniors. Okay, rather than recruit juniors, why don't you recruit a robot? I mean, it sounds like unacceptable or weird, but actually, why not? You would have these robots working for you, and you just need to do programming. I would say accountants now would need to learn a new skill, which is coding, in terms of like Python or any other UI automation, any RPA automation. There's no harm in you learning that. And so, okay, if you can ask the computer scientist or the technologist or programmer to do the coding for you, but you know what? He will have to go back and forth to you like, so when you receive, is it debit or credit? You know, receive what? Receive money. Okay, it's totally different um, with assets, liabilities, expenses, um, receivables. The share capital, all these accounting treatments, is going to be a mind-boggling for the computer scientists to go back and forth, the programmer to keep asking you like what to do next and all that. Since you know what to do, why don't you do the programming? Mm. I mean, I would say that is the best way. So I've seen a lot of accountants nowadays are taking up programming if they're in this department. If they're working in the RPA department, automation department, then they will learn on how to do the coding. Okay, they'll be guided. They'll have trainers there, and even I would say the programmers, computer scientists would prefer the accounts to do it because they really, I mean, don't understand how it works, like how you program the robots in such a way to, um, record the debits and credits and so forth. Okay, now let's get back to the payment receipt. So payment receipt, the humans have to do the manual checking, email tracking, but the bots now will just log into the bank portals and do the matching. They can do that because I mean, whatever you do manually, you're going to program the robot to do that using the automation tools. Okay. Next is cash application, applied manually to customer accounts. Okay, you have to match, that, but the bots will now actually post the payments to the correct invoices. They would know because you're the one that programmed them to do so. And I would say, like, for those of you who are working in the automation department, just think of it like you would have, you're an accountant or still pursuing your professional qualifications, and or you probably have finished all your professional qualification papers and all that, or even you're accounting degree holder, then there's no harm in actually learning something new, which is automation. And it's like a new skill, and it's good. Okay. And I don't think that is a hindrance. I think it's an advancement, like for you to actually learn something which is of a different level. Okay. You're trying to be the programmer now, but not at that level. I mean, just looking at the um accounting parts only. Okay. And I would say, like, if you're in the automation team, if you are just doing the O2C automation, I mean, that's just one part of it. I'm not sure if you are allowed to do the P2P automation. Yes, you can, but I think the O2C automation is huge. So I would say that if you're working in O2C, that means the O2C would be your area of expertise. At least you need to stay in this O2C department for at least 3 years to get the right experience, 3 to 4 years. If you want to rotate, then you could, but maybe you need to be an expert in OTC before you move on to P2P, and the next one will be R2R. Yeah, that'll be in my next video. Okay, and reminders and collections. Staff needs to send reminders manually, but the RPA bots will know when to send reminders as programmed by you. And finally, reporting and reconciliation. Manual processing is looking at Excel, manual ledger entries. We don't want to do that, looking at those lines and lines of Excel. And you do understand what you did before, so you're trying to teach the robot to do it in a way where you program the robot to do it. Okay. So the RPA bots will consolidate and reconcile accounts in the ERP. Okay. Okay, now let's have a look at goals of integrating RPA into the O2C cycle. So you have a wonderful ERP system, okay, SAP, Oracle, okay, but you need to actually embed the RPA on that. Right? You want to become amazing. So ERP is not enough, so you need to have the RPA. So you have here goals. What are the goals? Number one is to reduce manual work in order processing, invoicing, and collections. Number two, accelerate cash inflows by reducing order to cash cycle times. Number three, enhance customer experience with faster order and invoice handling. Improve data accuracy in ERP and financial reporting. Finally, ensure regulatory compliance and traceability for audits. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So advantages of O2C embedded with RPA. Speed, okay, because RPA will automate order entry, invoicing, payment processing in real time, okay. And accuracy eliminates data entry errors from orders, invoices, and payments. Cost savings reduces FTEs, are full-time employees, needed for transactional O2C tasks. Faster cash flow, cuts O2C cycle time, improves working capital, scalability, handles high volume. During peak season without extra hires, means without extra people, you don't need people now, you got robots. And you got the audit trail, bots generate logs supporting compliance and traceability. And we have here challenges of O2C embedded. Okay, we will have challenges. Okay, disadvantage will be like limited exception handling, because remember I would say that you would have audits done by the people who used to key in the data manually. So now you're the one working on exception handling, because you never programmed the robot to handle one-off, or what do you call it, these invoices which are very non-standardized. They could come in different shapes and sizes. It's not standardized, so robots doesn't know what to do with it. It's not human, so they can't think. Okay, initial setup costs. Okay, this is really costly to set up our RPA, but in the long run is going to be worth it. Okay. Next will be complex workflows. Customizations may increase bot maintenance complexity. Process rigidity is so rigid. Once you, because you are programming the robot to do so. So these robots are rigid. They only follow your commands. Okay. Dependency risk. Business may become too reliant on bots for critical functions. So I would say that companies would know what to give to the bots and what to give to the human. Once you work with the bots, then you know like what bots can do, what bots cannot do. Okay. Now we're going to look at global examples of O2C enhanced with RPA. We have several real examples here. Okay, for O2C. The first one is real implementation with Hershey's Order-to-Cash automation with UiPath. So with Hershey's, right? They used the SAP ERP. Okay, the ERP is the SAP, and the RPA is the UiPath, and they use Power BI. Okay, so guys, I've been telling my students that you need to be um, learning up Power BI. So this is the reason why. So what are being automated? Order entry from emails and spreadsheets into SAP, invoice generation, delivery, payment data extraction. Wow, this is amazing. Cash application, reconciliation, automated exception reporting for finance teams. So this the last one is really important. Okay, so the finance teams will want to look at the exception reporting. Okay, now we have this results. Okay. Order processing time cut by 60%. Wow, that's good. Fewer customer disputes due to higher order accuracy. which is good. 30% increase in collection productivity. They are able to collect the money owed to them. Okay, 30% increase. That's really good. Real-time dashboards updated by bots for CFO visibility. So the CFO wants to see um, what's going on, and they need to actually look at the overall understanding. Okay, I mean, they need to look at overall performance of the company. Okay. Okay, here we have real example. Siemens uses RPA and SAP in O2C. Okay, Siemens. The ERP tool is SAP. Okay, RPA tool is UiPath. Okay, sales order entry from PDF and EDI, invoice dispatch to customers, payment matching and clearing, dispute identification and flagging. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Real world example, Siemens uses RPA and SAP in O2C. Results, 80% faster sales order processing, 90% straight through invoice delivery, 60% reduction in unapplied cash. Wow. Improved audit tracking and compliance. Okay, this is all great. So if you're thinking that, should I move towards RPA? Yes, especially for O2C, because we want to recoup the money from the customers. Like, when you allow customers to, pay 30 days later and so forth. So you need to collect those money. Okay. Um, okay, here we have Coca-Cola and RPA role. Bots capture order details from emails and ERP systems, validate pricing and inventory, and automatically generate invoices. So the result is 50% reduction in order processing time, improve cash flow through faster invoicing and payment follow-up. Okay. Vodafone, we have automated billings and collections. So what are the roles of the bots? Process and reconcile invoices, handle exceptions, and issue payment reminders. The result is reduction in late payments and decrease in manual reconciliation work by 30%. That's a lot. I'm looking at the numbers now, like 30%, 40%, and so forth. Really good. Excellent. Dell, okay, I know, like, I have a lot of students. My former students are working in Dell, and some are actually working in Dell Automation, RPA, Dell RPA. So they're telling me that on top of their ACCA, they're actually ACCA qualified because they left our university, USM, and graduated with honors, and they pursued their ACCA, and they passed all the ACCA papers, and finally they were able to join Dell. And so what in Dell, they were given the task of working with the bots. Okay. And they needed to learn coding. And they told me that yeah, it's at first they thought, well, extra work and so forth, but it's actually some sort of uh, career advancement for them as well. And they felt that they felt that they're sort of like being given a chance to upgrade or upskill themselves. Okay, so Dell is, I would say, like a very upcoming and very advanced company, and I would say that a lot of my students are working there anyway, former students, and they would give training to their staff, like during the downtime, not the peak period, and they can learn anything that they want. For example, if you want to upskill in terms of automation, you can do that. And you can become a programmer on top of becoming an accountant. So it's up to you. And if you already have an ACCA, you're qualified, ACCA qualified accountant, you can also pursue STEMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. And you would think like, oh, why on earth would you want to do CIMA when you already have an ACCA? But the thing is like CIMA in a way is looking at the uh, factories, production, and so forth. Well, Dell is some sort of factory, and the factory environment actually will be supported by CIMA. Okay, and it's not that ACCA is not supported, but you want to have extra. Okay, and it seems that the organization has supported in terms of I would say qualifications. They would pay for all the fees and so forth. So it's really good. Okay, and Dell Automation, they have a separate team, and it's full of accountants, ACCA, CIMA accountants in Dell Automation, and they have to learn programming, coding, and so forth. Okay, so it's not rocket science, so it's been done before. So you guys, if you're interested, then this is another pathway you can choose. Okay, so I would say the results. Okay, let's get back to this slide. So looking at the result, faster order fulfillment, of course, and enhanced customer satisfaction due to real-time updates. Maersk, we have the freight order processing and invoicing. So the RPA role is automation of freight booking entries, invoice generation, and payment follow-ups. Results, reduce manual errors in freight billing, improve working capital management. Henkel, Germany Consumer Goods, automating sales order entry and invoicing, RPA role. Bots capture order data from emails or portals, enter it into SAP, validate product codes, and generate invoices automatically. So everything is looking at improve order accuracy, reduce manual processing workload by 30 to 40%. Okay, Hitachi Vantara from Japan, looking at the accounts receivable and collections management. We have here bots extract data from ERP systems, consolidate outstanding payment lists, send automated payment reminders, and escalate overdue accounts. The outcome is faster collection cycle and increased cash flow visibility. Pfizer, your name sounds familiar. Okay, Pfizer, automating order processing and invoicing across subsidiaries. And the RPA role, bots streamline customer order confirmations, invoice dispatch, and payment reconciliations. So basically, the outcome is that reduce processing time and enhance compliance and audit trail accuracy. Wow, amazing. Unilever, order capture and credit management, integration between customer orders received via email, SAP system, automated credit limit checks and approvals. So the outcome will be fewer order processing delays and reduce bad debt through proactive credit control. Great, eh? And we have this HSBC use case, invoice processing and collections, corporate banking services. Okay, they're just giving just one of the department in the bank. Okay, the role of the bots handle receivables data extraction, invoicing clients for service fees, and tracking collections in real time. Outcome, faster billing cycles, improve financial reporting. Very good. ABB, Switzerland, engineering and manufacturing. We have here automated customer order handling and automated payment reminder process. RPA role, RPA bots handles the sending of payment reminders, updating financial systems, and logging customer feedback. The outcome will be reduction in overdue payments and decreased human error in debt collection. I would say the outcomes are similar. Okay, with improved processing, quicker processing, less human error, and so forth. I wouldn't say that the bots are better than humans. Okay, we're trying to get this straight here because I'm still getting comments saying that the way that I conduct the videos, it looks as if that I'm trying to say that humans are not as good as robots. That's not the case. The issue is here is that um like if you're in human resource and you're trying to look for the best person to do one task, right? So once you've recruited the right person to do that task, then you would ask that person to do it for you. And you would try to suit the people with a task. If you're good at writing, then why don't you do the reports? If you're good at accounting, then why don't you do the accounts and so forth? Okay. If you're good at marketing, then why don't you join the marketing department and so forth? So I would say robots, we are the ones that design the robots, in a way to assist us greatly. So I would say that robots would be best suited for 24 hours data processing. 24 hours means that when I go home, I can go home and relax and have dinner and watch TV, or maybe go to the gym, okay, uh, have a swim. I wouldn't need to like work, okay, because the robots are doing it for me, okay. I can program the robots to like do it 24 hours. That means that whatever invoices that come in from different time zones, like for example, I'm in Malaysia. So when I go home, like at night, like other parts of the world are still in the morning or in the afternoon. And it's probably still their working hours. But in Malaysia, we've already clocked off. So we want to go home and we want to rest, have dinner, and watch TV and so forth and sleep. Okay. So the thing is like, so I want my bots to actually receive those invoices from around the world and process it for me while I'm relaxing at home. Why not? Okay. And the ones that created robots was me. Okay. I wanted to maximize the performance, my work performance. So I would use bots to actually help me. Okay. And it's actually very rewarding because it didn't these bots, this didn't came up from thin air. You are the one that created the robots, so that is the great thing. Okay, so as we can see here, we're looking at automating sales orders from retailers. It's normal. We can see all over that that's the role of the bots. Okay, and bots will pull orders from emails and retailer portals, validate against stock, automatically update ERP systems. That's the job. And there are going to be enhanced distributor experience, increase sales process efficiency. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to share another video on the other processes, and that will be R2R, which is record to report. Okay, I have this bad habit of saying report to record, so, but it's actually wrong. It's actually record. You need to record first before you report. Okay, so I keep telling myself that no, it's R2R is record to report. So please forgive me if in my next videos you hear me saying like report to record. It's like what on earth is she talking about? Okay, so I think we'll stop here. And would want to see you in my next video. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.